Hey guys, welcome to episode 5 of the Chicago Cubs series. So, last episode, we kind of went over the trade acquisitions at the 2004 trade deadline. We acquired Miguel Tejada. That was our biggest move. But we actually missed the playoffs. So I'm going to go into see what actually happened last year in the playoffs. Playoff history. So the Red Sox swept the Tigers in the division series. Angels took 3-1 over Minnesota. Atlanta took 3 games out of a 5-game series against the Dodgers, and then the Cardinals won 3-1 against San Diego. The League Championship Series for the AL Crown, the Angels beat the Red Sox 4-1, and then for the NLCS, the Cardinals beat the Braves 4-3. And then looking at the World Series, very competitive, but the Angels won 4-3. Let's check out their team. So pretty stacked across the board. You got Vlad as their best hitter. McPherson, he's probably new for this year. Got Guillen. But the pitching, just phenomenal. Lackey, Escobar, Lieber, Colon, Ortiz. So, and the bullpen, holy crap. BJ Ryan, they just signed him. K-Rod and Mariano Rivera, Scott Shields. That's probably the best bullpen I've ever seen in my life. So they're going to be contenders again this year. But let's actually go into what we did in the offseason. So let's go to pitching. The big one, we signed Carlos Zambrano to an extension. So going our history here. On 10-13, right after the playoffs, kind of when we kind of realized we were not in the hunt, we, I think, avoided arbitration, and we signed Zambrano to a 6-year, $62.1 million contract. He's 23 years old. We'll have him until he's 29 years old. And he just, posted a 6.8 WAR last year for us with 13 wins, 35 game start, 216 innings, and 227 Ks. So he'll be the long-term ace for us. We actually acquired... so Matt Clement actually left. So I'm kind of looking at my notes. Matt Clement signed with the San Diego Padres. So he signed fairly cheap, but again, our budget isn't very high. He was definitely one of the better pitchers on our staff last year, but we just couldn't afford it. Plus, he's 30 years old. He was asking for, what did they give him? They gave him 7 years. So, I don't want him on my team until he's 37 years old. So, the Padres signed Matt Clement. I believe I offered him a 3-year contract, but he turned that down at one point. So for the lineup, so our rotation: Wood, Pryor, Marshall. He's going to start the year in the rotation. Number 4 prospect in baseball. High loyalty, adaptability. So we'll see what happens there. Hopefully he develops into an ace eventually. Aaron Cook. We actually got Aaron Cook in a trade. I'll kind of go over that trade in a second. Looking over the bullpen. Jim Messier is our closer. Acquired him in the offseason. from the White Sox, another trade I'll kind of go over. He wasn't actually the main piece. Solomon Torres, got him at the trade deadline last year. Billy Koch got him in the same trade as Messier. Cisco, Dempster, Hanrahan, and Rush round out the pitching staff. So let's go to the lineup against righties. So we have new catcher. Michael Barrett left as a free agent. Another guy that was kind of wanting too much, and I felt like it was better to kind of move on. He signed for a fairly reasonable price there, but at 5 years, I don't think it was worth it. So instead, we kind of added a veteran catcher in Charles Johnson. Now, he's definitely old. I don't know how, long we're going to have this guy in the mix, but he's 33 years old. Really good glove in the past. Still has a pretty good glove. Won 4 Gold Gloves. Last year had a pretty decent season. He gets on base, 357 on base percentage. So that's what we're kind of looking for. Decent defense, getting on base. Michael Barrett is more of a line drive home run hitter. He couldn't play defense, couldn't get on base as much. So we'll see how Charles Johnson does in that starting catching spot. We actually acquired Charles Johnson with Aaron Cook and with Ian Stewart for DeJean, Chirinos, Cedeno, Merton, and Bay. So we gave up a decent amount to kind of get Johnson. But the bigger pickup here was Ian Stewart. So Ian Stewart's number 97 prospect in baseball, but take a look at what he did down in Single A last year. 63 home runs, 164 RBIs, 10.2 WAR. He had a outstanding season. Pretty crazy. I have him at third base. Hopefully he develops into something worthwhile for the Cubs team. All right, so we kind of went over what we had to go over here. We moved on from Russell Brandon. He was more of a half-season stopgap option for the bench, trying to pick up someone on the bench. Last but not least, someone of a bigger acquisition, Maguilo Ordonez. So his ratings dropped pretty good. Only 45 contact, 45 gap. He still has decent power. He still doesn't make many mistakes in the outfield. So he's going to be more of a right-handed bench bat for us, kind of from the White Sox. So from 2003 to 2004, he had a horrible year. A negative WAR player from a 5.1 WAR in 2003, batting 317 to 224. So he dropped off big time. OSA was pretty high on him back in 2004. 75 potential contact, 60% potential power. My head scout was he's kind of on board with the 45 contact at this point. He's 31 years old. If it doesn't work out, not a big deal. The White Sox retain 100% of his contract for 2005. He is not going to start for us. He's going to actually be a bench bat, or in case Sosa gets hurt or underperforms. So he will be on our bench. Wilkerson's going to start in center field. I think he showed enough last year to kind of take the spot in center field. Corey Patterson's going to be a bench bat / pinch runner. Let's take a look at our player development. So, top prospects. Marshall is going to start the season in the rotation. Gabby Sanchez, acquired him in the draft. Ian Stewart, Acquired him from the Colorado Rockies. Abar, Headley, Teagarden, Bianchi. Crazy ratings. We drafted him first in the first round, 21st overall in the 2004 draft back this past offseason. So he's another one that hopefully will develop into a monster. I mean, ratings are pretty decent. We'll see what happens. But, yeah, so we're ranked 10th out of 30 overall in the league, our minor league system. So not bad. Hopefully we can get to the playoffs with a similar team as last year. Kind of made a few minor tweaks, promoted some guys to the major league team. But that's about it. Episode 6, we'll kind of get into what's going on in the season. I'll probably simulate up until, I don't know, the first couple months, maybe the first month, who knows. But I would like to get more into the season. So here's to 2005. Hopefully it'll be a good season for us. Stay tuned, guys, for the next video.